Aloha, welcome to Covering the Cost here in Hawaii News Now's Digital Center. I'm Annalisa Burgos, and today we are having a very good discussion with the State Department of Commerce and Consumer Affairs Deputy Director Dean Hazama. We're going to go into things like scams, consumer rights, insurance claims, all kinds of things that affect you and your wallet. We want to make sure that you are protecting yourself when it comes to, doing business out there from unscrupulous businesses, right, Dean?
Yes, that's correct.
Good to have you with us. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having us today.
So tell us, explain what DCCA does.
Well, we have a really broad range of responsibilities in the state. We basically regulate various industries from insurance to local banks to individual licensees to register businesses, franchises, and all of that stuff. So
it's a lot. Anything
Yes.
that consumers touch, right? When it comes
Correct.
to commerce and paying for things, services. So the number one thing that comes to mind, obviously, is scams, right? And we've been covering that a lot here in Hawaii News Now. Just some of these texts that we get, some of these internet fraud. Maybe set the scene for us. I know the FBI report maybe last year or the year before said more than 55 million in losses, but I would assume that's underreported.
yes, we believe it's quite underreported. A lot of times people get taken advantage of and they don't want to tell anybody about it, or they're kind of a little bit ashamed of it. So those type of incidences are underreported. So these are only the ones that people do report, and they are investigated, right? So.
What's the most common one that you are seeing in your office?
There's a lot of them. I think the most recent ones were, like you mentioned, people getting texts from the DMV, supposedly not really from the DMV, but from DMV saying that, hey, you owe us money, your license expired, send us money or pay for something. There are a whole lot of different other ones regarding
romance scams, maybe.
There's some of those, but there are also other ones where you missed your court date. If you pay us money, then we'll take it off your record. You won't have a criminal record, or something like that. So there's a lot of them that are out there.
So how do you go about educating the public when they get these types of scams?
Yeah, I think that's the greatest service that we provide to our public and our consumers, is our ability to provide them information in various different forms to identify prior scams, how to avoid getting into a scam, and what the resources are, who you can talk to, who you can contact, and what you can look up yourself to prevent yourself from getting scammed.
Yeah. So, for example, if I were to get one of these, you missed jury duty, there's a warrant out for you, these types of things that want you to act now, what's the first thing people should do?
Well, I think, basically try and report it to us. But more importantly, if you don't want to, and some people don't, like to contact government agencies directly, talk to a family member or a friend, because we've had, and I've had a whole bunch of friends and families that have been contacted with these types of issues. Solar installation in homes is one of them. So
really? What happens in that one?
So my friend called me, and there's this company that is going around through the neighborhood, and they basically sweep the whole neighborhood. And they're basically saying that, we could install your system, and the state of Hawaii will pay for everything.
When would that ever happen?
So, my friend called me on the phone, and he said, hey, I know you work for DCCA. I said, is this true? And I basically, no, this kind of stuff. So on those type of things, we work closely. Our Office of Consumer Protector works very closely with DBED's energy office to report these kind of scams, document these kind of companies, and basically try and notify the public, number one. And of course, the second step is when we get complaints, then we basically go out there and notice, basically stop and cease operations like that.
Do you know the name off the top of your head?
I can't remember the name of the company. I do know that it was not a local company.
Okay.
So a lot of these companies, are not from here. They're from the mainland, and some of them are not even from the U.S. Some of them are foreign companies as well. So let me just start by saying that the majority of our companies in Hawaii are very good. They know how to play by the rules, and they're very good companies. They're great companies. there's this small minority, really small minority of sometimes local companies, sometimes mainland companies, but even international companies that are perpetrating these frauds and these actions against our people, our consumers in Hawaii. So that's our job, basically, to, like I say, get information out, have them contact us. If they file a report, fine, we will investigate and see what we can do and to shut these guys down.
So in this solar power one, was it a phone call, or was that a text, or was
Actually,
that someone going
I got
in person?
both. I got both.
Wow. Okay.
So I got a text and then I got a phone call. And unfortunately, I know who to contact.
Yeah. Well, you're in the know.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, this is not right.
Yeah.
And that's one indication for the public and your viewers out there. If something doesn't sound right, something just doesn't quite sound right, then 9 times out of 10 it's not.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, the big flag there, I would say, is Hawaii would not pay to install your solar power.
I mean, we do have incentives.
I don't think so.
We do have some incentives.
But pay for
tax
all of
incentives,
it?
yeah.
I don't
But,
know.
but not the
I'm-
whole thing.
The
yeah.
skepticism there already, the red flag. You guys, no, don't think like that. And that's one of the flags, right? Is
Yeah.
if this seems too good to be true, then you should probably be skeptical of it.
Yeah, and I would also say that legitimate companies will allow the consumer to do their due diligence in getting all the information and facts before they actually make a decision or sign a contract. I think another flag is if a company approaches you and says, no, the deal is only good for today, you have to sign it today, otherwise we can't do this. So that should be a red flag to the consumer and to the public as well. Because like I said, a legitimate company will allow you time to make that decision, and a lot of them will say, okay, fine, why don't you call us back when when you want to do something.
Yeah, no, that makes sense, and I think those are the major issues you need to get out in front, right? Be proactive about it, and educate your family members, like you were saying, because
Yes.
like you said, a lot of times the kupuna are the ones that are being victimized because they aren't able to learn about some of these actions or flags.
Yeah, and we do send our staff out. Community outreach is important to us. So we do try and attend as many events on all the islands, senior fairs, emergency fairs, all kind of community fairs, where we'll have a table or a couple tables there to pass out all of our information and literature to.
And actually, you have a consumer protection fair coming up. It
Yes.
is the National Consumer Protection Week next week.
Yes.
So tell us about what people can expect and where it's at and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so this is our 22nd year of sponsoring this fair. Again, it's next week. We will be there March 5th at the state legislature on the 4th floor. The time is, I think it's, hold on a second,
11, I think I have it
11
up
to
here too.
1:30 on the 4th floor of the Capitol. Normally, we do have this event at our court. We have a nice courtyard in our building, in our office, but over the last couple of years, we've been undergoing extensive renovation and repair to our building, so that's not available. So we'll be on the 4th floor of the Capitol.
Well,
on
that's
March
good
5th.
because you get to talk to the lawmakers directly also. Is there
Yes.
some legislation that you are supporting that could help?
There always is. I
Yeah.
mean, we obviously need to balance between, regulation and making sure that we don't necessarily have any inadvertent issues, side effects of doing legislation. But we are here to help our economy grow, and I think what we do for businesses is we allow the industries to basically all do commerce on a level playing field, right? Everybody follows the same rules, and that if they don't, and for the bad players, then there will be consequences, right? So
Yeah.
we try and do something.
It's already hard to do business in Hawaii, they say. So, in order to keep it level, keep everyone above board, there are certain, agencies like yourself that are almost watchdogs, right? Consumer watchdogs. So, tell us a little bit about, just to switch gears a little bit, the Military Consumer Guide. So, that's another aspect of the population that you seek to help.
Yes.
Why is that important?
I think because a lot of our military members here are new to the islands, So they don't necessarily understand, or they're getting used to trying to get acclimated. They don't understand necessarily the Hawaii commerce landscape yet. So we developed a guide specifically for them, mostly for the newcomer type military people, to, give them information like we do, to help them.
What are
kinda
some of
traverse.
the struggles you think? I know it's stressful to move anywhere, whether you're in military or not, but what are some of the issues you find that they're facing? Is it just kind of the cost of getting an apartment, or
Yeah,
I
some
don't
of
know.
it's housing. Some of it also is maybe, how do I get a job, right? I want to work. Maybe their dependents want to work in the state. So some of that information is in there as well.
Oh, that you bring up a good point. I think a lot of the times these trailing spouses, the spouses that come with their military service member, they want to work and they also need licenses, right?
Yes.
So is that something that you kind of educate them on what they need? Maybe they were nurses somewhere else, or they were, estheticians somewhere else. Is that something that goes through your office if they want to
Yes. So
get
there-
those licenses?
Yeah, so a couple of years ago, I'll say about 3 years ago, the Federal Department of Labor passed a law that basically states that a military spouse that has a licensure in good standing in another state can actually come to Hawaii. All they need to do is notify, basically register with us to say that, hey, I want a job. I'm going to, do a job in my licensed area. As long as their license is in good standing, then we basically take that registration. And for the time that they are stationed here in Hawaii, their licensure is free.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that is a federal law.
Okay.
And that is in our military consumer guide.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
There
so-
you go.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. We put that on our website as well.
Okay.
So for the military spouses that do have licensure, then it's an easy pathway for them to start
To get
working
some
and stuff.
work, yeah. Well, and it also fills a shortage for us, right? If there's
Yes.
certain things like
Especially-
teachers or nurses. Well, like, what
Yeah.
are some of these specialties?
They run the whole gamut of things. So the federal law basically only exempts attorneys. So basically, attorney from another state can't practice here without.
Yeah,
getting
we
an
need to know the
attorney.
law. Yeah, that makes sense.
But every other profession is basically covered by their statute.
Okay.
But they're nurses, doctors, some of them.
Healthcare.
Yeah,
Anything
healthcare, right? But it could be anything.
Wow, that's actually pretty helpful. So you have this. What's the website? Do you want to give the site for folks in case they want to check it out?
Yeah, it's cca.hawaii.gov.
Okay. Well, and speaking of websites, I know you're also undergoing a restructuring, a modernization of sorts, because as we know, the state has received some complaints about sometimes the interface for the public is not up to par. So what is going on over at DCCA?
It's very important for us because we do interact with the public a lot, and the public wants to interact with us, and we're trying to promote that. So we modernized our websites, our web pages, to make it very easy and efficient for the public to get the information they need. They can even file a complaint online with us by just clicking a button for that specific area. If they don't know the specific area, there's a general complaints button. They can click on that and it'll route it to the specific area that needs to take care of that.
When you say area, what does that mean? What's
So it
areas?
could be insurance, could be a licensee, could be a business or a company, right?
Is there
Or-
one for real estate?
Yeah,
Just
there's-
because I'm thinking in my head the
yeah,
one
so real
question I
estates
had.
are licensees.
Okay,
right,
that
so-
that falls under
Yes.
licensees. Okay.
Mhm. So it falls under them as well. They also have we regulate the local banks. If there's a complaint against a local bank, there's a form for a button for them to click to. The other thing we did is we're tying this in with a call center. So now we have one toll-free number for the public to call, just one, and it will route them to the area that they need to get to.
So whoever answers, no matter what their complaint is about, that person, the
Will get
router
routed,
will
yeah.
put it,
Mhm.
send them over to the correct department.
Yeah, so there's a menu initially. We ask them what they're what they want, what they're looking for,
Yeah.
and there's a menu. They
Oh,
can
is this
either-
AI?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
it's
it's AI.
So
Okay,
you
make
can-
it more efficient.
So you can say or you can press the number. If not, it'll take you to and there's actually a live person that picks up the phone.
Okay, once they're routed.
Yes.
Okay, so is it in multiple languages?
We're working on the multiple language for the call center. We do have access to that, The web page has multiple languages automatically. There's a small little button on the top right hand side of it that has languages, and you can click, and I think there's like 20 different languages.
That's good to know because, a lot of our consumers, English may not be their first language. Maybe they need it in their, first language. So that's good to know. We have to take a quick break, Dean. So what we're going to do is we're going to hear some messages, but we will be back here on Covering the Cost with DCCA Deputy Director Dean Hazama in just a minute.
From the moment you wake up.
Hawaii News Now brings you the stories that impact your day.
With more on the breaking news, we go live to Casey Lund.
Ready with the push alert? I'm going live. We have an update to the breaking news we brought you this morning on Sunrise.
Okay, guys, as soon as this wraps, toss to Mahia.
And we've been covering this story all day.
Now we go live to Mahia for a new development.
Stand by for breaking news. They just captured the suspect.
That's confirmed?
Yes, sources just confirmed it.
The news you need the moment it breaks.
Here on Hawaii News Now.
First alert traffic is like always having a helpful passenger right next to you.
There's a crash up ahead in the left lane.
When we see a backup, we'll tell you live on TV.
That doesn't look too good.
And send an alert to your phone.
I'll type, you drive.
First alert traffic on TV, streaming, and on the Hawaii News Now app.
Keeping you and your ohana safe.
Welcome back to Covering the Cost with me, Annalisa Burgos. I'm here with Dean Hazama. He is with the Department of Commerce and Consumer Affairs. We've been talking about all things fraud, scams, how to protect ourselves when it comes to doing business here in Hawaii or engaging with business in Hawaii. And so you said, Dean, there are a lot of legitimate businesses here. This is like for that fraction of unscrupulous people that want to take advantage of us. But we want to protect ourselves for sure because it leads to millions of dollars in losses for our people, so we want to protect them.
Yes.
Now, we left it off at the call center because now you have a centralized number for everybody. So what's the number, just so that we can have it out there for folks?
All right. The toll-free number is 1-844-808-3222, which is DCCA.
And there you go. You see it right there on your screen. Easy to remember. So no multiple numbers to try to think of. Just go straight there.
Yep.
An AI interface will route you, and then you talk to someone in the actual department.
Yes, and it's a call center like you can expect normally. If you are on hold during high volume times, you are allowed to use a callback feature.
Oh, good. I love that.
Yeah, you won't lose your place in line, and we'll get back with you as soon as we can.
So, have you been getting a lot of calls?
We always get a lot of calls.
Yeah?
We always do.
And what are some of the most common calls? What are people calling about?
It's status. A lot of times it's status of my license application, or I just want information about, insurance companies or different what my options are in certain areas. So we get a ton of phone calls.
It ranges, right?
Yes.
So because you also do the licenses. What about, would you say, what percentage are complaints? What is the negative? Sometimes it's just information seeking, right? But do you get a lot of angry, upset people calling in? I mean, I would imagine. Yeah, was it half? Would you say half?
Oh, at least half. I mean, a lot of times, people are upset, or, they may not be upset at us. They might be upset at the situation.
At the situation.
Yes.
Yeah. How do you, I guess, address those types of things when it's not really in your control, right? If it's a deceptive business that kind of took advantage of them, how do you go about, easing the concerns once something has been done to them?
Yeah, well, I think we tell them basically that we are going to open a case for them. We have an investigation, and we'll investigate that case. And if they're the complainant, then they will get back the results of that.
Are there consequences to these businesses?
Yes. Yeah. If it's a licensee, then there's a process to go through. We put the case together, we do the facts, and we basically come up with a recommended disciplinary action for licensees, and can range from suspension to fines to actually, just taking away your license, period.
Okay. So, I want to bring it up just because, there are situations where maybe people are doing it maliciously, right? Have you seen that? And how do you distinguish whether something is a legitimate complaint versus something that is, done maliciously?
Yeah, unfortunately, we still have to go through the process to at least go through the initial investigation of that, and then we'll find out. I mean, we'll get to the bottom of it. Our staff works very, very hard, and we understand that we're our primary mission is to help protect the consumers of Hawaii. So, unfortunately, some of them are like that. But we'll go through that step and we'll get to the bottom of it.
Yeah. You were saying part of your modernization is to be able to track these cases.
Yes.
Right. So how is that different from before? Like, how is it improved now?
Well, I think now every single interaction with someone from the public or the consumer actually creates a case, and we can track all of those interactions.
Would I be able to look it up online, the status of my report, or do I have to call in for the status?
Actually, we're working on the ability for a person to go in there and track the status of that.
Okay, yeah, that would be helpful because, for example, if I filed something and I wanted to know whether there was any kind of action taken, so that's something that's part of this modernization.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any kind of timeline for when that would probably get underway?
Most of it, well, we're working on it now, so hopefully we'll get it done by early summer.
Okay. Well, that would be helpful. Okay, so we got the number, we got the website. Now, recently we had a lot of these weather-related issues for folks, right? And every time we have those types of hurricanes or flooding, insurance becomes top of mind. And now I know you have also some education around that. Maybe tell us about some of those efforts, especially for people who are like trying to file claims right now.
Yeah, so normally after any kind of event, we will issue information to the public via press release to the media, like yourselves, and help us get the word out on steps that they can do to help them contact their insurance providers to get their claims processed and get some resolution going for them. Obviously, if they have any kind of issues with their insurance provider and they've got questions and that they will always contact us, and they should. But we will get the information out to them on that. So one of the things is even before the events, make sure that you always keep in contact with your agent and your provider. Understand what your policy is and what the limits are and what's exactly covered, and also keep up to date with things. So.
Yeah, and keep good records.
Yes.
I think that's it. Show what it looked like before and after. I know we don't think about that when we, when everything's nice and warm and sunny, but once those weather-related things hit.
I think the more information you can provide to your claim adjuster, I think the faster your claim will be processed.
Yeah, so definitely. And I know we were talking earlier about kind of the hesitancy of people to report things to the state or report things to agencies.
Yeah, so if I can, urge your listeners and the public and the consumers, if you have something happen to you, please report it to us, because I can almost guarantee you that you're not the only one. Right? It's happening or it's happened to other people. So it helps us, I think, gather more information during our investigations. The more things happen, and it makes us be able to react quicker to stop these types of actions from happening.
Have you seen over the years whether these types of practices or scams has increased?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I think toward the tail end of COVID, from then on, we've seen a definite increase in these types of scams, and they keep on getting. And like I said, they cover a whole different, bunch of areas. As soon as we find out about them, like I said, we try and get word out to the public as soon as possible. But they can help us as much as we can help them, hopefully.
Yeah, well, you make it easy with the websites and the
just contact us, let us know, and then we'll go out, right?
Yeah, because I think, like you said, there's a little bit of shame in this whole process, right? Especially there's a kind of a myth that the people that get scammed are not educated, but you found, I'm sure, in your investigation that these are educated people that aren't, they're not stupid.
Well, it happens to all of us. It can happen to anyone. But it happens to all of us. It can happen to our family, our friends, our neighbors, our coworkers. It can happen to anybody. So like I said, what we're trying to do is prevent people from getting into that situation, but providing the information and the ability to talk to somebody to find out if this is actually a legitimate thing or not.
Yeah, because the cost of not reporting is very high, right? Like
Right.
we were talking at the very beginning, millions of dollars, and these are our friends and family. You know, we may not know it, and I mean, not to get too serious and deep, but you know, these losses are felt by families and the
Yes.
mental health of it all,
Mhm.
too, right? There's a lot of pressure right now with the economy.
Right.
And I don't know if there's a message out there for folks as far as their consumer rights, as far as, you know, being able to protect themselves in this kind of atmosphere where there's always someone that's going to try to benefit from
Yes.
this uncertainty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is there, I guess, a message from the DCCA for that?
Yeah, you know, I go back to, you know, if it doesn't sound right, if it's too good to be true, then chances it's not right, you know, it's not legitimate. So please contact somebody or reach out to us, and we will definitely guide you through that. You know, there's some things, and we work with the counties as well. You know, people will not contact you. Your bank will not contact you through a text to get payment for something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those things don't happen. So those are types of things that we can get out there. And you know, we are a small island here, but we do have Hawaii's a very unique place, and we have a very unique culture. So you know, it's part of us helping each other out, right? If you report something's not right, report it, then you know you'll be helping other people too.
Yeah, and you bring up a good point. Not just people, but businesses. We have to protect
Yes.
our businesses.
Mhm.
Whenever these deceptive practices happen, it also costs our local businesses, and that's
Yes.
why we're seeing a lot of people suffer also on that end.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so real quickly, the website again and the phone number. Do you want me to do it? I can say it. I have it ready for you. The 844-808-DCCA, that's the number on your screen. And then the website?
Is cca.hawaii.gov.
Okay, so if you have complaints, if you have questions, definitely check it out. And stop by the booths on March 5th at the state capitol and talk to Dean here. You're going to be there.
Yes, I'll be there.
So
I will be there.
If you have any questions or complaints, go straight to Dean. He will answer them, and then you can let us know what are some of the big
I will
complaints.
point you in the right direction. Definitely, for sure.
Yeah, well, thank you, Dean. I think this information is very helpful. Appreciate you coming in today with
you.
the State Department of Commerce and Consumer Affairs. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you again.
All right, that's it for us. I'm Annalisa Burgos here at Covering the Cost. We'll see you next week.